You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Ben Amin and Tatiana Keene Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros!
This is the emergency broadcasting system.
And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of The Lack of Us, the blackest Last of Us podcast out here, powered by For All Nerds, where we always say
rewind,
where we always say inclusion is revolution. And it's your boy DJ Ben Amin, aka Cordyceps Rex. Holy shit, Joel, smoking on that gas of us. Whoop, whoop, clicking, whoop, whoop, clicker head.
Joe, please, whatever.
Here we go, and as always, joined by
Tatiana Keene, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Four Spores and 7 Years Ago, aka For Us by The Last of Us, aka Elliot Ness, aka, as we said, Joe, please, whatever.
what did Ellie say about him? He just has a angry voice. He just sounds
I thought
like
he said
that.
he had like resting bitch face or something like that, but for a voice?
Yeah,
So,
for a voice. Yeah,
resting
yeah.
angry voice. I don't know
Resting
what that is.
angry voice, something like that. Yeah,
He has a RAV 4.
a rasp. He definitely has a rasp. A Rav 4. What you think he raps for? No,
Resting angry voice.
All right. I'll allow it. Yeah, you know that was better than some of the writing.
Oh God, here we go. Yo, I knew you couldn't help yourself.
Couldn't
So
help it.
y'all are about to hear it, but before we start, but every episode before we start, we kind of like just really quickly just go through our notes. And when I say, and he'll tell you more, but I mean dog the shit out of this episode.
Hey, easy there. You know, you burying the lead right there. You giving away the goods. And let's say, as this is the 5th episode of The Last of Us. We're now more than halfway through the season. This was an episode that we knew was coming. Like we talked about last week on The Lack of Us, we discussed how this episode was probably going to center around the story of Sam and Henry. For those who have played the game, you already know the story of Sam and Henry. Me or Tatiana have not played the game, but
but you read.
I'd already known. It was one of those things like how you just, absorb through the culture. I just heard about Sam and Henry, and I was like, oh, that's fucked up. And then so I went and read last week to make sure I knew exactly how effed up it was, and I wanted to see what would happen, and how they would adapt it.
And you did give us slight warning last week during our review, and I was all shut the fuck up, and I want to find out for myself. And
man, I wish I could have doubled that. Like when I was watching this episode, I was like, yo, and I tweeted about it, and you've probably already seen the episode by now, but I was really like, yo, HBO needs to put out, I might even have to say that, this will be post now, you all know this now, but I got to say that because I feel like this episode has so many trigger warnings that it needs attached to it.
no, this shit was
Emotional, damn it.
Yeah.
all the way, and it was beyond what I thought I was gonna see. Cause when you were like, oh, it's all bad, I just thought the usual shit. Like, okay, somebody gonna get ate, somebody gonna fall off a cliff somewhere, somebody gonna drown in the thing of infected. Like, I thought the typical shit, not what the fuck I saw.
My problem is I just like that. All right.
Ben.
We got to talk about the good things first. Yes.
Ugh.
We do got to talk about the good things. So,
Which I think there were some good things. I found redeeming qualities here. I don't think
I did too.
You did?
I did
okay.
Too. Yes,
okay.
I did. So first, let's mention Kevion Montreal Woodard. Is
that's the young boy that plays Sam Burrell, who is the deaf younger brother of Henry.
And he's an actual black deaf youth actor.
Correct.
That's great. Yeah, fantastic. And Lamar Johnson, who played Henry Burrell. Right?
Correct.
I mean, I want to shout both of them out. Both of those actors did their damn,
Yeah, they did the thing. Like
did their thing.
They both were good I didn't read overreacting. I didn't read underacting. I read like they knew what they were doing. Like they've they've been trained. You know what I'm saying?
They were
like,
Sam and Henry.
They were. And what I also did was I went back and I think even IGN might have even posted it, but I went back and watched clips from the game of the encounter with Sam and Henry, just so that I could just see, because as a lot of people have been telling us that some of these scenes and dialogue were for word bar for bar. So I wanted to just see, was it truly that way? And did they even resemble their in-game counterparts? And they did. And they really did a good job marrying those two worlds together. So I felt that these two actors, they did a great job in bringing those characters to life, and as from a gaming perspective, the authentic version of those characters.
Okay, now what else did you like about this episode?
Let me just skip right to me. So
I mean, I'll get back to what I like too, but
So I actually, this is actually part of something I mentioned during last week's episode. I said to you, what makes someone good or bad in this type of environment, this type of world, where when we talked about how Joel said, oh, I was on that other side before. I was one of those people who was potentially, quote unquote, killing innocent people, but it's always a but to survive, but to do this, but to do that. We hear it directly from Henry about his role and why Kathleen has the big heart on for him and why she wants to fucking, kill him by any means necessary. And, why he did what he did. And it's always, you look at things like that, you go, okay, well, I see both sides, right? I see why you did, because that was my son or brother or whatever. I will do anything to make sure that they stay alive, even especially in circumstances like that where it's almost an every man for himself type of situation. And then on the other hand, when you look at it from Kathleen's perspective, it's like, this guy got my brother killed. And you could add on what I felt was a lot of like really weird privilege there, but it was some weird privilege stuff going on. I was like he was the leader. Like the way she was saying shit, like I just gotta sidebar this for a second. The way she was just like, well, he, like, this guy was so important to this and this movement and that, and you took him away from us. Like, I was just like, cause she tried to say, her brother was more important than anything else. Well, nigga, what about this little boy? Like, why do you get to say that about your brother? Because he's a leader of a movement and he's so important. But this person being Henry, who's clearly trying to save his young brother's life, can't say the same. Like even Kathleen, towards the end, she said, "Is your brother worth everything?" And when she said everything, she was speaking in context of that we the people movement. That this, that. Is your brother worth risking all of that? Yes, bitch. That's my brother. That's my brother. And that's why I just wanted to make that sidebar that annoyed me a bit, because I was just like, she was like, I get why you did what you did, but do you know what the problem you caused? Yeah, but I see what he did. It just seemed it and it's on purpose. We know this. This is on purpose, because this is to force you, as I'm doing now as a viewer, to confront yourself. Confront yourself of what good and bad means. Confront yourself of morality plays. Confront yourself on those gray areas. Confront yourself on what it means to have a justification or a reason for these actions, and does it make sense? And who says, who makes the rules, and if these things make sense too.
And I think also the writers were trying to get across like the idea about revenge, and how revenge is this endless circle, and no matter what, you're just trying to keep on. Someone will always want revenge for, the other person's actions if you keep feeding into it. And I also like Graybeard. I loved him from the first episode he showed up in last week. I'm not sure my
was
man's
that the
name.
Sniper? Who's Graybeard? Oh, the other nigga.
Yeah.
Her fucking Starscream, right? The second in command.
He did tell her to retreat too.
Like,
retreat! Like Megatron and Starscream. Yeah.
Chad.
He did tell her to treat me. Yeah, but no, I love my man Graybeard, right? Because Graybeard was trying to get her right, but he wasn't no getting right, this woman. And like, all right, first of all, I have two questions because he said it wasn't your brother, it was you who did everything. How, Graybeard? This woman's a maniac. Like, did she only lose her mind after her brother went down?
Potentially, yeah. But it's also it's been 10 days?
It's been a minute.
No,
been longer than that, right?
It been? I thought it was. How long has it been since?
It's been 10 days since they took over.
Oh, since they took over. Okay.
Yeah, her brother
was killed. Okay. So it's been a while. So then,
how the hell did she manage?
But plenty of time has. What do you mean? Plenty of time. If it has been a while, if you're talking about just length of time, I think it seems like there's enough.
I'm happy that her empire crumbled in this episode because there was no way that it could have lasted more than like 5 more days.
But then revenge and anger are great motivators, unfortunately, to the detriment of many. But they are great motivators. And yeah, she could have potentially. I mean, her being psychotic has nothing to do with it. Look at Negan. Look at all these other people who have built empires and built something, good or bad. They've built it. Despite their faults.
Negan was all good. The governor was all good until Rick and them came through. They lasted. Shorty's shit was done no matter what, fam.
Right. They weren't prepared for that. And that was on some sneak shit, too. That the writers were fucked up for that. That was on some sneak shit. Like, all right, pow, we gonna just throw these niggas out there fucking not even 28 days later, niggas. Like, these niggas was on all types of...
But that's the thing. No matter what, her shit would have crumbled because this woman was a sucker. She there murdered a doctor, murdering people indiscriminately. Yeah, it's not going to work out. Like, this empire is going to crumble very quickly one way or the other.
Yes, I completely agree she was a sucker, like you said.
The 28 seconds later, Katz was just,
I'm just 28 seconds later, right? Not 28 days later, 28 seconds.
Nigga, he was on that ass. Hey, let me sidebar real quick. That was one of my favorite moments of the show when them niggas came through.
That was actually my second good thing. I said,
"Oh my god!"
I said, "Kathleen getting 8 by the runners." That's what I said.
Okay, see the things that I loved and hated about this episode, right? Were like, okay, Graybeard's reaction shot to the big bloater.
Is that nigga's name, or you just calling him Graybeard?
I mean,
I was just like, wait, is that?
I don't know.
I don't recall that man's name. His name could be like, Tony.
It doesn't matter now, does it? It's irrelevant.
Like he's a fucking D&D character,
like you said. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Starstream got. But yeah, when he has the reaction shot to the bloater coming up out of the ground, and it's like that slow motion shaky cam thing they do in like B-movie horror movies.
I thought it was like supposed to be from the game.
That's the other problem. There's like sometimes like people keep talking about people talk about how this is the greatest game ever, and there's a reason why it's a games versus movies. Like, I know the scene of Joel capping Katz from the rooftop as Ellie runs around has to be from the game.
That's what they actually. Yes. What did I see for? Oh, and I mentioned IGN earlier. No, it was
the tower.
Scene, yeah, I don't. I think the tower had to be from the game. It seems very game-like.
It's so game-like, and in a game, that's fine, that's fun, that's great. You're capping these tats, you're saving Ellie. It's probably an annoying level, though. I'm sure that shit was. When I was watching it, I was like, "Yo, this shit's super annoying," because she probably dies so quick, and you got to start this shit over and over again. Mm-hmm. But watching this on a show, it's silly. It becomes like,
okay. I mean, when you put it like that, yeah.
It was like, look at Magic Joel up here with this sniper rifle.
But is it truly silly? Because, like, imagine, say, whether that was an actual playable scene or not in the game, like, that's something you were watching, right? So if you enjoyed it in the game, why would you not enjoy it in live action?
Because the difference in live action and games, you are actually controlling it. You are in
What if it's a cut? And I'm saying, what if it was a cutscene?
I hate cutscenes like that, and most people do.
Oh, well, there it is then.
No.
So you would have hated it
great
regardless.
Cutscenes are more like the ones, like, from what I know that were cutscenes is when they're dropping the brick on the car, that was a cutscene.
Yeah, that's what I saw on IG.
The cutscene also is the plane flying overhead from the first episode. Those are cutscenes. Those are momentous events that so far technology hasn't progressed to the point where we can actually play those moments. But like by PlayStation 6, why would you want a cutscene of some of this stuff? You want to play those moments because the graphics are that good now. And you can handle all this stuff happening on screen.
Okay.
So it's like, at that point, it's more interesting when you're playing it, but when you're watching it, no, it's not as interesting. And also, it stretches the rules of, like, logic. The fact that Joel can somehow save Ellie again and again, and then that these kids are the only ones who
Plot
managed to
armor.
get bit. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like, all right, but
It's plot armor. It's that was.
I don't need the recreation of the game. That's where my problem comes in.
From Walking Dead level plot armor right
there. It was ridiculous. And then it was ridiculous, like, the fact that poor, which one is the younger brother?
Sam.
Sam
Super
gets
Sam.
bit, and nobody checks this man. Like, they saw them dudes on their ass.
Now, I mean, okay, first of all, then you're supposed to be talking about the stuff you liked.
Okay.
You still, because I want to add on to what you just said, but before I do, you got to talk about the stuff you like or finish to talk about.
Okay, well, all right. I did like some of that, video game this because, like I say, the way them niggas came up out of that thing and was on, like, just a wave and just ate through them cats with no problem. And then, like, one of the things that I disliked and liked is the ridiculous. It turned into, like, a B horror movie towards the end. And I love that because I love B horror movies. But at the same time, it's like, what am I watching here? Why the hell is this woman still so hell-bent on revenge where she gets ate up by the same little clicker that was
going after Ellie? Was that the same little one? The little baby clicker?
Same one.
And are they clickers? No, she's a clicker because she couldn't see. I didn't notice that. I was like, is that the same one?
Coming on that ass.
I mean, like I said, anger and revenge is a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a motivator. It's a hell of a lot of things. And perhaps she was so got that freaking clouded that was enough. But to your point, it's just like, I think you should prioritize staying alive.
At this point, fam, everybody is getting ate.
Fucking record label prioritized staying alive. So
Yes.
why are you still here? Are you that deep in? Are you that down bad that's what
Yes.
matters? Like in the middle of all this, stop! I got
You're
you where I
gonna
want
shoot
you.
a
Like
kid?
really? I think you need to have more situational awareness, and it's stuff like that. And I guess we're starting to go towards the things we don't like. It's stuff like that that makes me think, okay, wait a minute. Situationally, like, is that a word?
Yeah.
Would you like? As I'm just trying to think. Even like I believe in revenge, but really, right? That
Wait. I believe in revenge.
I do. But at that moment,
You can't just slide these things in.
but at that moment, is really the crux of the matter, right? Like, could we put this on pause real quick?
I mean,
Like, if you're gonna be this hell bent, I'm going.
how did she get there?
She's the fucking okay. If you're gonna act like Terminator 2, at least even that nigga has situational awareness. It was like, you know what? I ain't gonna come after you right this moment because I have a greater threat. Let me handle that shit and I'll spin back.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to do. Spin back later, lady. Like
Yeah.
that shit was out of
You
control.
have
'Cause my
cars
thing is-
and trucks. They're
but
on foot.
also you can someone will jump up and argue. Well, she had nothing to lose at that point. She just wanted to take care of him first and then die. And I'm like,
Why?
why? Right? It don't make
What? I've never wanted revenge that bad, and I've wanted some revenge.
Right.
Like, man, I've plotted some shit before, but
right. And before we continue the stuff we don't like, Ben, just to be clear, I actually I didn't mind this episode. I thought this episode was fine. I didn't see any issue.
I don't. Okay, this is.
I didn't.
I think that every episode of this series so far has been well done zombie drama. It's just that
Okay.
when you've seen well done zombie drama, and I think zombie drama, for one, like, it starts with George Romero, and that was excellent off the rip. You know what I mean? Where it's like Night of the Living Dead is excellent, Dawn of the Dead are excellent. Some of the great films of our time, like, they're great films. And then Walking Dead, a lot of things have done this stuff, and so it becomes kind of, and like the tropes of zombie drama are like when they don't address the stuff about race
Mm.
and things of that nature, it becomes kind of problematic very quickly, and that becomes one of my problems because the very first one's like George Romero. All right, this is a classic story. I'm not sure if you know about this one. You probably do, right? But there's a black dude in the first Night of the Living Dead. He saves all the white people, and then at the end, he saves all the white people from the zombies, right?
Okay.
He's one of the few people to survive. There's like 3 people survive, him and like 2 other people. They're all in this house, and all the zombies attack this house. They don't know him. He comes in early in the movie, busts into the house, and they're almost about to kill him then, but then, they become a team. Shit happens, people die, etc. At the end of the movie, it's him and like 2 other people. A bunch of white dudes come rolling up in the next morning in trucks and are just blasting the zombies. Like, no problem, It's like, okay, whatever, we got this now, They roll up and shoot the black dude.
For no reason.
Well, they think he's a zombie.
Wait, y'all can't see Ben Amin's face for those who are only listening to audio. But he had this smile, this smirk on his face. They think he's a zombie? What?
Finger quotes. For those who can't see my finger quotes.
How do you make that mistake?
And okay, George Romero actually said that he didn't intend it. He cast the black dude like because he was the best actor, not because he was black. Okay. But it still became the effect of what, was shown on screen.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, it's Dawn of the Dead, which takes place in this mall where all the people go to the mall, and then the dead all come to the mall, and the people are like, yo, why are the dead coming here? And they're like, this is what they did in their life. So what would they do in their death? So it's this whole thing about commercialism and stuff. And then that one really showed you how humanity's the worst part of it all. And like that would fuck me up the first time I watch it. Like I won't spoil it for people, but it really wrecked me the first time I watched it because I was like, oh my God, humanity is the worst. But that's also not all the time. And I feel like this episode leaned into that whole humanity is the worst trope that is inherent in a lot of zombie drama. And I just feel like it's kind of corny and tired. Like, oh, these people did all the dirt to people. So what's going to happen? They're going to do the same dirt back, and it's like revenge.
Well, I hear you.
But, you believe in it, so.
I hear you. I do. But I also, like I said, I had no issue with this episode. Like, there were, and we're talking through them, the glaring issues that there were. Yeah. But at the same time, I still enjoyed myself because, like, I still felt palpable tension. I still felt fear. I still felt very much integrated into what Ellie and Joel, and then, of course, Sam and Henry were going through. Like, everything still felt like real danger to me, despite some of the things that I took mental notes of. But everything still felt good. Like, in terms, and when I say good, I mean good at, like, it felt real. Like, as good. It still felt like this is still the same power that I'm feeling that I felt at the first episode. Just in terms of, I still feel like I'm with them. I'm still with them. I don't feel like what tends to happen typically in the middle of series like this, where it's like, okay, y'all strong, and then you go off a cliff, and it's just like, okay, you're not that strong anymore. Now, when I say strength, I'm just talking about how it made me feel in a lot of the scenes. Yes, the other side of strength, maybe some of the writing choices and, some of the characterizations may, have some questions. And we covered some of them, but I just really wanted to ask this question about Henry because he was pissing me off. Like, when
Henry is type idiot.
He's type dummy because he gets Joel, he smartly gets Joel to agree and says, and I liked his reasoning. It was like, nigga, I can't do this by myself. I am not the tank of the group. Like, I need your help to get out, okay? I'm the strategy nigga, okay? I'm the wizard. Fine. Yep. Let's fucking get the fuck out of here. Great. This is a dangerous place, and, like, that there's anything could jump at you at any point. And you have this idea, like he says to Joel, like, oh, there's no infected here because they say Fedra said they ran them underground.
3 years ago.
You were a collaborator. You know everything about lying, subterfuge, double speak. You know all of this shit. So you telling me you believe everything you fucking hear. You, Henry, who at a moment's notice will fucking shoot someone for your brother, as you should in my head. But And no, you don't have time. You don't even trust someone who says that. Like, y'all barely trusted the fucking doctor. As you should, until he came around, was like, until you realize, okay, he is cool peoples. But for this, I'm just setting the stage because for this guy, Henry, to then turn around as soon as Joel on his arm, he like, oh, I'm a safe girl. Like, no, you're not. This isn't safety. We are still in an active shooter situation.
Not a safe girl.
This is a
It ain't
active
safe
runner
for the black
situation.
or the white girls.
It ain't safe. And I just like how, like, and to your point, even if you really did think, oh, there's no runners here, there are people with guns everywhere under the control of your biggest op. That don't, and that's what I'm saying.
He's like, you don't know no op. He has to look him up.
Like, no, because once, and like I said, this leads to the point. Once he was linked arms with Joe, he ain't had no ops. Ain't nothing could touch him. He was all like, he was fucking bopping down the street, like in the tunnels. We're good. Like he was literally saying this, and I'm not exaggerating. He was saying this. He was like, oh, ain't shit down here. We're good. Oh, don't worry about it, Joe. Pata, whatever the fucking word is. That you know what I mean? And then to cap it all off, they get off ground, and he was like, see, told you, nothing's gonna happen. Smooth sailing, nigga. No.
Patow.
Patow, the fucking
Yeah, not
sniper.
patow.
So I'm just like, duh, right? So when that happened, I said, duh, right? Like I did that, that Oprah meme when she looks around and she puts her hands out like I told you so. That's how I felt. Fine. When the sniper starts shooting, this nigga jumps up when his brother starts running. Why the fuck
Where
would you
are
run out
you
of
gonna
cover?
go?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Where are you gonna go?
Where are you going? Who jumps out of cover on active gunfire? Who? And that's what I'm saying. That's just made me so, as you can hear, everyone, made me
Is
so
that from
irritable.
the game? It might be from the game.
I
And
don't
it's
know.
like,
I don't care. I was
but
mad
see,
as fuck.
and that's that type of thing where I'm like, I don't believe that when people say, all right, when people say The Last of Us has the greatest storytelling in games, I'm also like, one, that's debatable, and two, there ain't a long history of storytelling in games where you can act like that's a great accomplishment, fam. We went from Pac-Man to shit like this. It's like...
I recognize the concept of false security, right? Like when...
no, not in this
seriously.
world.
No. Listen, Linda. Listen.
This nigga never
Listen,
seen
Linda.
false security.
Listen, escúchame.
This nigga never seen security.
Hey, let me give you an understanding. They did technically have security. For example, when they went...
When they
to
was
that-
snitching on niggas?
No, listen. When they were going through the tunnels and they ended up in that, I guess, daycare center or whatever. Technically, that was a safe space, whatever. But, to me, you're still in a very heavy, scary situation. But, and I kind of understand why kids do it. But like Ellie and Sam, like they let their guard down. They was like, oh, we're in a safe space. There's toys, there's comics, let's chill out and stuff. Joel rightfully stays at the ready, just in case, Even though he was technically chilling, he was he would be ready to pop a nigga immediately, right? If he needed to. I don't know so much for Sam, but I feel like Sam was still kind of a little bit at heightened tension, right? Why then would you think it was smooth sailing? I just don't understand the concept of someone like being adamantly like, yo, it ain't safe out here. And then all of a sudden you make it to what you think is your refuge, and you're like, okay, everything I was doing back there don't matter no more. I'm gonna let my guard down. Everything's hunky dory. Like, are you dead ass? Be fucking for real. And that's why I'm just like, I didn't, when I mentioned characterization, I was just like, wait, what? Like, I just could not see that being the deal.
And okay, once again, we have not played the game, but from what I know of Sam and them in the game, they are a little bit more developed in this. And there's this whole thing about them with the violence and how the older brother doesn't feel like, his younger brother can deal with it or something.
Yes, yeah. They were saying that he underestimates his younger brother.
Yeah, but then his younger brother actually, comes with the violence and brings the pain or whatever.
Yes.
So I didn't get that from this episode, really, right?
I didn't get that. I got a dumbass.
And then I got two suckers who needed to be saved, and then nobody wants to check these suckers after they were being clearly attacked by monsters.
Right. I mean, I was so happy. Like I said, I had high thoughts about Henry and them when, like, up until the point after he talked to Joel and told him why, he was, like, even him, like, going up to Joel and using an no clip in the damn
I love what
that
he
was
said,
amazing.
eyes on me. Like, he was so much
He was
gangstered in.
convincing.
Yeah, and then it's like suddenly he turns into this goofball.
That's what I mean. Like, there was a level, he had an air about him where I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I respect this man. And then he just started doing his fuck shit. And I was like, wait.
Because
Is this the
eyes
same
on me,
person?
like, when he said that shit, I was like, oh no, this dude's like, he's done this before, or
Now
he knows situational awareness, like you said. Like,
Now you see, I wish I was the meme with the eyes, the red eyes. Now you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you have this
capable.
maybe personal thoughts, like, okay, this person is capable. And then just at the second half, it was literally night and day from one half to the other half of the episode. And I'm just like, what? And then to do that with your brother in tow, which means you're putting him in danger being a dumbass.
Like you said, why would you run out?
Why would you run out? And then when he ran out, he said, whoa. That's the only part to me that felt very weird and video gamey. Where he ran out and, like, the sniper, like, hit the car a couple of times or the ground a couple of times, and Henry was like, whoa, time to go back. Like, I was just like, what?
Yeah, whoa. Yeah.
It's just, I'm nitpicking now because it's
not because
it wasn't realistic.
And it takes you so much out of it when you're watching this. That's what I mean. There's a lot, like, the whole latter half of this episode, there's a lot of scenes where it started just taking me out of it, where it's like, okay, Joel's up on the tower shooting down and somehow managing to magically cap all these things without ever even coming close to hitting Ellie.
Well,
like,
that's
he's
why
shooting
the
at things
gun had
right
to jam up.
next to her.
They was writing this like, damn, we got to make this look believable. Jam up the gun.
Like, for real? And then somehow she doesn't get 8 at a time when, when the gun is jammed.
Of course, the other part we both said that we didn't really care for was, like, the tropey. I wrote kinda, then I crossed it out and wrote very, because of all the reasons I just mentioned regarding Henry. And then also, like, when the fucking Hive from Destiny game came out at everybody, and Sam and Henry had to hide under the car. As soon as I saw them in the car, I'm like, them niggas got bit. One of these niggas got bit. Like, you knew.
Yeah,
or scratched or whatever happens to people. I'm like, one of them, both of them is not going to make it. And that's when I thought, like, when you were warning me last week, I was like, okay, this is how it happens. And yeah, it did, but in a very emotional, damaged way. It got, man, it was so dark for me. That was so dark. And you know how excited I was to see young black boys.
I told you.
What do we say? Especially in a genre, at least mainstream wise, where you don't see us like that.
Lack of us.
You don't see us, the lack of us, the fucking name of the show, right? Like, so I was like, all right, we get to see it. And you was like, nah, bro, don't get too tough on them. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna like the outcome. Okay, fine. But I thought it was gonna be, again, because of the person that developed in the first half of the episode, I thought it was gonna be on some G shit. Like, I thought he was gonna go out, like he was in fucking Set It Off. So I was like, all right, well, he went out, but he went out in a blaze of glory. You know what I'm saying? So when it didn't happen like that, I was like, oh, damn. And it just got darker and darker. And I know I saw the clips from the game. I know this is the game, but Jesus, Lord, I did not want to see that.
No. And again, like, I feel like, I think people who play the game are going to have more complaints about this than we even are. Because from what I understand, their story seems a little different in the game, just slightly. The end of it is still the end. That is how, it ends for them. But my other issue is that having seen the Frank and Bill episode, which expanded so much more upon Frank and Bill's character than what they ever was shown in the game.
Right.
Why couldn't we have gotten, an episode just about the two brothers? Why does it have to be note for note from the game? Or why can't they just go their own way at the end? Like, why can't you have a change from the game? Because what impact was that terrible ending where it's just like, once again, and like, I'm always the one who says you can't have black people in these type of things without, expecting them to meet the fates of other characters.
Absolutely.
But then double
hard.
up, you got brothers snitching on cats. Like,
he's a snitch, he's a rat, he's this and
he's
that.
a rat, he's everything terrible. And then you had the most terrible things happen to them. And
I mean, and like I just like it's like again, it's so difficult to negotiate this because I understand this is from the game. But to your point, Ben, like we've done some different things the last 4 episodes or so. It's like
Yep.
we have done something a little different here, and I understand that that's just this is the path they chose to go down. Okay, but like why like. And that's when I'm just like, yo, would it have been, well, let me not say obviously, but would have been different if it was a different type of group making the decisions
yes.
for these two characters specifically. Because I'm just trying to think like, is it because was Henry and Sam not that level of importance, that story not that level of importance as to whomever made the decision as Frank and Bill or like, and I know people are going to hear this and be like, oh, you're insinuating the racisms. No, I'm not insinuating that. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to understand because to your point, like you made a great,
I think
like
you hit the
why
nail.
did we have to fucking see that? And to say like if someone says because the emotional finality of that and the depth, y'all achieved that in episode 4 or episode 3 rather.
Yeah,
y'all achieved something I have never probably seen, at least when it comes to queer love. I personally have not seen to that level on TV and to that level of beauty, let alone a queer romance. That level of beauty, I personally don't recall seeing on TV either ever in a long time. So I feel like y'all did that already. So why did you have to bring me to another emotional space in that way?
Yeah, and that becomes like another issue I have with the genre in general, especially when it becomes an extended thing like The Walking Dead or like The Last of Us, right? Because it becomes this extended journey into how much torture can you take. Like how many times can you see terrible things happen to people you love? That's what these things become. And that was like The Walking Dead, like I was a huge fan. I started on issue 1 when it first dropped. I was reading it from day 1. But even with the comic, at one point when Lori dies in the comic, I wanted to quit because it's so much more horrible than it is in the show. And she was a much more relatable character in the comic to where I was devastated. And then I kept reading it. And when Glenn died, again, I wanted to quit. And so that's my issue. It's like I've seen stuff like this. And while I will keep saying this is very well done for the most part, at the same time, I don't need to see this that much. Like there was things this week, like I haven't named it yet, but I'll say it. Like there was, I was watching a BMF and I straight up turned off the show in the middle of an episode, and I doubt I will go back to it because I just realized like, I don't need to see this type of disgusting violence of black men on men. Black men shooting each other and doing horrible things to each other. And so it's like, I'm done with that show. I'm good. I've seen enough of it. I've seen it before. I've seen this type of drama before. I've seen it done better. I've seen it done worse. I'm good, Right. And that's how it's starting to feel with this show already. Like, while this is well done, this episode in particular, at the end of it, I was like, man, I never needed to see that. Like, I gained nothing from this. I already understand that revenge is terrible. I didn't need to see...
I didn't need to see Henry shoot out of necessity, shoot his infected brother and then kill himself.
And then I didn't need to see like the characters act like idiots to get to that moment. The fact that no one checked these kids after they were...
that was strange too. Like
why would Joel and even the older brother, why wouldn't you come in the room at any point during the night? You just don't be like, nah, let me just let them...
who cares about in the night? Once y'all, like, how...
Yeah, once y'all safe,
check each other.
Everybody.
Didn't they do that a few episodes back with Ellie and all them? That's how they found out Ellie got bit again, but it doesn't fucking matter. But still. So I'm just like, why would you not check each other? And granted, Sam is deaf, so he's quiet, so he's not going to say anything about it, but it's just like, you're still not going to check on each other? Like...
okay, that is a
like
good
I don't
point.
I don't expect
because
a child
Sam is deaf,
to...
he doesn't say anything.
No, I don't expect a child.
Henry wouldn't check him because he knows that.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't expect, and regardless if he's deaf or not, I don't expect a child to speak up.
Yeah,
Children may hide things all the time. Children could be in absolute pain and not see anything. And I don't.
I mean, they usually start crying immediately.
Some kids cry. Some kids don't say anything because they can
True.
be conditioned. And look at where Sam is growing up in. Like,
Gotta be quiet.
regardless of what's going on with him, you know what I'm saying? Like physically. So it was irresponsible as fuck. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to move on though, because like I was like, that shit really fucked me up.
How did you feel about the Ellie, trying to heal him with her blood?
I wrote here, Ellie the Messiah, because she really thought, and I felt bad for her too. Like she, especially someone's Marlene and them is telling you, hey yo, you Neo, you gonna take us out the Matrix, and you believe that shit, and that shit don't work. You saw how, quick she said, don't worry, I got the balm of Gilead, I got it.
Wow.
I got you. I put my hand, she laid hands on Sam. She said, she started speaking in tongues. She did that because she believed that shit wholeheartedly. And said, you're going to be fine, little buddy.
I'll just go to sleep.
And then she tried to stay up with him. She just naturally just fell asleep.
Yeah.
But when she woke up and that little boy was staring out the window, I said, he gone.
Gone.
He gone. And towards that also, like when we talked about maybe they could have changed something, I actually thought it was going to be Henry ended up being the one.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I had to remember what you keep yelling at me about. The name of this show is The
Last of Us. Yeah.
So it's like every person they
might
encounter,
switch it up too, and Henry might get bit.
That's what I thought. I thought that was going to be this change, because Henry was, once as usual, the last episode, he was acting weird as shit. And like even when he told Sam to go to bed, like he was, and Ellie looked and nodded at him, he was like giving this weird like wink type of thing, like I ain't gonna see you in the morning because I'm gonna be dead. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's gonna close the door, talk to Joe, be like, hey yo Joe, let me talk to you out back, and be like, bro, I got big, help do the honors for me, take care of my bro. Yeah, something. That's what I thought, and that didn't happen.
I thought he might get bit, and then somehow he's gonna eat his bro, and then they, but
that would have been horrible.
Yeah.
Also, it would have worked within the confines of this world, right? It's like niggas get ate every day, B. Okay. My fault.
Yeah, but
how did you feel about Ellie trying her best Jesus?
I actually liked what you said better, because I thought it was kind of ridiculous, like I thought, but I get it, like.
I didn't think it was ridiculous. I understood why.
I think Ellie's just a little bit too old for that shit, but at the same time, I get what you said made clear sense right there. The fact that people have been gassing her head up.
They gassed her from Jump Street.
Yep.
She been in fucking private school this whole time. She don't know the world. She just fucking got in a car in real life. So I didn't, and she's still a kid, right?
Still a kid.
You could say her big age, but she's still a kid, right?
Still a kid.
She's still a kid, so I understood how she really felt that shit was gonna work.
Because she's supposed to be like 12, right?
Oh, I don't remember how old she's supposed to be.
I
thought she was supposed to be around the same age as Joel's daughter, and that's why they made that parallel.
Yeah,
like wasn't 12? Joel's daughter like 15?
Maybe.
Ellie seems a little bit older than 12, but then again, 12, I don't remember what 12 would look like. But yeah, man.
She's definitely older than 12, but I mean, the actress is older, much older.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so I didn't really fall for that. I thought it was sad. I felt bad for her. I also thought it was naive, but also she's a child. Children do naive things, and it's kind of fucked up because it's like, and I know why they played it like that, because remember Joel in her face was doubting it, in front of Marlene, in front of her, saying that little girl, she ain't no miracle child. She ain't gonna bring her back, bring about the next coming. She ain't gonna bring us back. Like Joel was doubting her from jump. So then for her to still been believing all this time and then try it and it doesn't work, you can see the dejectedness in Ellie, and you can see like fuck, like all that joy and hope got sapped out of her, because this is a little boy she befriended and found relatability in with the comics and this and that, and finally someone who's not so fucking dour like Joel all goddamn day, and then this happens.
I love the endure and survive.
Yeah.
And how they were like, how Joel and them are like, yeah, that's not very
Yeah,
good.
that's not gonna work, right? And like I said, just to finish off with Ellie, like like she's going now into Joel land now. Like as she walked after they buried the brothers, she walked away. She's like, "Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
That coldness started seeping in again, and I feel like now they kind of like where do you see like an eclipse where the two celestial bodies cross over, and it's like they're kind of changing paths, right? Like Joel's starting to soften up because of her, and the jokes and making him laugh and shit like that, and she's starting to harden.
Well, that is one thing that is a great journey of these characters, and that's great writing, is because they started at such opposite paths, and they're because of their influence on each other, they're going in the opposite direction, and that will provide the tragedy probably of everything, because at the end of this, it is a very, from what I understand, I do not know exactly how it ends. I just know that there's some tragic-ish that ends the first game. That
Is more tragic than tonight's episode?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's some and it was super controversial because it's like a choice that most of the players won't make that choice, but you have to make that choice basically.
oh,
And it's pretty terrible from what I
this is
understand. But
devastating.
that's all I know. Do not spoil us because we are, waiting for that. And I have, other than that, I really don't know. I know mad people were irked and pissed about the first game. Like,
That's devastating.
How it ended.
You can't tell me it gets
something.
worse from here because
Oh, it's going to get worse.
this was devastating too. And as a black woman, I have another layer, but this was devastating for me.
Yeah, and as a black man, I mean, come on, man. Like, and as a black man who's dealt with mental health issues, like really dealt with that type of stuff where I've had to seek therapy for, things, and to see someone take that to that extreme, on stream was a lot for me. That was it was trying, and that's what I mean, where it's like, man, I didn't need to see that, honestly, because it was like, I was like, wow, and that, I mean, and one, it was one of the things where I was like, well, I'm so thankful I never, did that, because obviously that's the finality of life, but I don't need to see somebody, do that, man. That was,
something else I didn't need to see. On another note, what the fuck was the Juggernaut doing in this world? What the fuck was that came up? Like, what the fuck was that came out the ground?
Well, from the game's wiki that I looked up, it's called a bloater, and they are basically the most advanced stage of, these things when, after years and years, they can grow to this size. Yeah, and they're a clicker, so they don't see, but they run around, and they usually move very slowly. In the game, they are insta-kill. If they get their hands on Joel, it's a wrap.
He looked OP as fuck. As soon as he came up, I'm like, oh, it's a wrap. Are you calling him Graybeard? It's a wrap for Graybeard.
He took Graybeard's head clean off, fam, with one swift move.
Once he grabbed that nigga, started giving shaking baby syndrome, I was like, that's it.
That man took his head off, dog. He said, like, pop a top on that man, dog.
But not you doing the sound effect. Yo, but no, I just like I had said it before. Like, obviously, I feel like we're gonna see different species of the infected, and I'm all like, la la la, it's a game. But no, this is not a game. Like, what I'm seeing is tremendously worse than my imagination. Like,
not for
this
me.
Is some other shit.
Ben,
I don't watch zombie shit and do all that. This is not my bag. Okay. I mean, I got into The Walking Dead, but like that's pretty much had been the peak of
28 days later, never.
I saw it, but like I'm seeing this stuff after the fact. I don't seek out this stuff.
Yeah, I feel you.
You understand? So it's just not my thing. So typically, then to watch it, I'm just like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this is wild, Ben.
Yeah, for me, having like ingested a lot of it from like all the George Romero to Walking Dead to just whatever to all the various zombie games to the Flood and Halo, it's like
the Hive and Destiny.
Yeah, seen it, been there, done that. Yeah. So, I was impressed by how they came out and just ate them dudes, but I was really hoping for something. I can't lie. Funny.
28 seconds later.
That was good enough for me. Actually, I can't lie. Like when they had the thing thumping underneath the ground in the building, I was hoping for like some giant moss tentacles, to
That's
come
what I
busting
thought.
out.
I thought it was going to be some beanpole.
Yeah, that's what I was
out.
hoping for. Some ill shit like that. So when it was just like a wave of these dudes, something like that they were all sitting under the tower, just pushing the ground. Like that don't make it. I'm not gonna say it don't make no sense, because nothing makes sense.
We don't know what's supposed to be sense here.
But for real, they're just up there like pushing the ceiling, like they're all raising
the roof.
DJ got them turned up down there, boy. Them niggas down there like boosh, boosh, boosh.
I hate everything, bro.
Boots and pants, boots and pants.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
And then, and then the other side of it is that they hear this explosion, I guess, of this truck, and they give up their party and come running all over there. Like they was way over there, fam. They was under that building. And then these dudes came running over there 28 seconds later.
But also, did they just now, 28 seconds later, come from downtown Kansas City?
Yes, nigga, they was on that ass.
Had they been following these niggas this whole time?
They was tethered to their ass.
they had to be tethered, Ben, because remember, Kathleen brought the entire fucking army with her. So they all making all this goddamn noise in a fucking parade coming down the street. So I'm thinking these things are just following them, and the explosion just made it. Listen, I'm not answering how. I don't fucking know.
I know because but I'm gonna ask this question, right? Because they talked about how the buildings were done by the same contractor, and that's why there were tunnels under the city. These niggas was in the suburbs, fam.
Well, they followed the same tunnels that Joel and them followed.
No. Okay.
How else the fuck did they get there?
No, but they were
in the ground. You're right.
No, they were out of Joel and them came out of the tunnels well before that, and then were walking through this goofy ass.
So remember, like I said, how could you believe them, Henry? Come on, be fucking for real. But when Henry said Fedra agent told him that they drove them underground. Yep. Maybe when they said underground, they didn't mean the tunnels. They meant underground in the suburbs.
But no, they were under that thing, raising the roof 10 minutes earlier. Remember?
Maybe they spread out. I don't fucking know, but it doesn't make sense.
It was a lot of them, except for when Joel and them went into them tunnels.
Well, I presume that. Well, here's another thing. If we use the concept,
it works much better when you're playing a game. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
But if you use the concept that I said, whereas they were driven underground, maybe not the tunnels, but underground, like adjacent to the tunnels, right? Because it's like
these niggas
how do
was
the
in
humans?
The suburbs. Where were they at? They in the concrete underneath people's houses. Like this, I'm trying to figure out.
You're really making me try to
these
figure
niggas
this out.
is Titty Pride or the Vision right now. They like floating through.
They were like lemmings.
Matter.
They were like lemmings. They all followed each other.
They dug through the ground like moles. Like they were just tunneling through. Like
they were raising the roof. Right
ass, nigga.
I don't know, Ben.
You fucked up our party.
But every time I get to where I think I'm gonna get an answer, you're like, "But why?" And I'm like, "You just destroy it." So I'm like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't. At the end of it all, I don't care because it was hilarious. It doesn't matter.
I'm just happy. I mean, we knew she wasn't gonna make it, but I'm just happy she went out like that.
It was like perfect timing and everything too. It's like right when they about to get capped. Here come these niggas.
Here come the baby clipper.
No, like even before that. I mean, they, that was the second time.
Yeah.
But just the first wave saved them.
Yeah.
Joel had nothing left. It was all over. These niggas about to come up there and eat his ass alive, and then, oh no, zombie wave. How convenient.
I thought it was weird how they all, because I didn't know whether they all heard the rumbling or was it just the explosion first. I just thought it was weird how everyone turned around the explosion and was just staring at the explosion. Because to me,
super silly.
Because to me, you didn't, at least and maybe, I don't know if it was a delay or what, but
I'm backing up, fam.
The way I saw and heard it was the explosion happened, which should have been a momentary look like, oh damn, okay, this truck exploded. And maybe because it was also slow motion, maybe that's why it made it seem slow. Like, they all looked, and it was kind of just staring at the car burning. I'm like, so fucking what? Do y'all hear something else? Because I don't.
Oh, no, you didn't hear the screams?
No, and then it was. I guess what I'm saying is it was delayed. Like it was like they were staring for a minute, and then the yelling of the horde, whatever you want to call them, started happening. So I was like, "What are y'all looking at?" But maybe they heard it. I don't know. Maybe this was.
But I mean, they were just looking because also the truck fell into the hole.
That's what it was, right? Okay, I was like, "What was it that triggered them to keep watching?" It was. It was a sinkhole.
Yeah, suddenly underneath this house, like in the middle of the suburbs. Why not? You know.
Ben, did you like the music?
Why was the sniper in the tower?
Because they put him there. That was Kathleen's guy.
They already knew they were going to get through there?
No, like who knows? I thought he was one of the niggas that they post up in the outskirts as a just in case, as a just in case situation. Because that nigga looked like he'd been sitting there for days and days.
Nigga
so
ready to die.
Right, like. Sure. Right. And I mean you saw how he went out, like, Joe's like, don't do it, and then he was just like, nah. So
I wasn't getting the tropes. Like, come on, fam. Like, dog, he has the drop on you. There is no way you are swinging that big ass rifle around, before this man pulls that trigger. There is no way. Like, in what world?
If you use, I want to say nigga logic, but if you use show logic, like, you can't trust anybody. People say, "Oh, I won't hurt you." That there's a good likelihood is a lie. So
it's
you
like, just to go for it.
Go for it. So I kind of understood that.
I feel you. Yeah, fuck it. And that man was old.
He was old. So I'm like, fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah. Might as well try. Otherwise, this nigga gonna shoot
He was probably tired of being up there doing nothing, eating tuna fish. Nigga, like, what?
Oh, this nigga want beef. All right. I've been waiting for this.
The most excitement he had in years, man.
Trying to cap these kids. I mean, he was really trying to shoot some kids. Like,
he was.
He knew those was kids. Like, he had his sniper rifle. He knew what he was shooting at.
But even Joe's like, he's a shit shot. Like, he can't aim for shit. Well,
I mean, it was dark and this man old as hell.
He's old man winter. So.
Nigga had no glasses, nothing. Come on, fam. It's tight.
Oh, gosh. All right. But yes, Ben, music. You want to say something about the music?
Oh, yeah, I did want to say something about the music, right? The music at the end of this episode is Fuel to Fire by Agnes Obel. I'm not familiar with the artist at all, but some of the lyrics of the song go, "Do you want me on your mind or do you want me to go on? I might be yours as sure as I can say. Be gone, be far away. Roses on parade, they follow you around upon your shore as sure as I can say. Be gone, be far away. Like fuel to fire. Into the town we go, into your hideaway where the towers grow, gone to be far away."
Oh, it's literal? In terms of matching the episode.
I mean, there was a tower at the end, sing quietly along. Yeah, it's like sing quietly along.
Fire.
Yeah, pious words to cry into the under upon your shore, as sure as I can say, be gone, be far away. Yeah.
Are you not feeling it?
I mean, the song was cool at the end of the,
Yeah, the song was nice, but
yeah, the lyrics. Now that I'm reading them, I'm like, I guess so. I'm sure it's about something. Sounds cool. It sounded cool when she was singing it.
Right. So now that we had a chance to talk it out, like I said, because you was not happy in the beginning, but you kind of found some bearings there. Do you have any predictions for the next episode?
Nah, not really. I mean, Ellie is definitely gonna go darker, and Joel's to be like, God damn, I don't.
Like, you're just a kid. Remember when he said, he's like, you're just a kid, you shouldn't have to do all this, and now she's doing all this.
Oh, she doing all this. She done all this. She done been there, done that. Like, Jesus, she done seen some horrible ish this episode. Like, ugh. I mean, we did, but she was right there.
You saw the way she screamed when Henry shot him. Like, I just saw her childhood leave her.
I was so blanking out. Like, at that point, I was like trying not to see any of it because as soon as he got bit, I knew, I was like, okay, they're going there. Like, as soon as, I knew that because I'd already read it, so I knew how it was gonna go. So I was like, oh, okay, they're going there. This is gonna be horrible. Because just like you said, I was praying that somehow it was the older brother. I was like, oh, please. He's closing the door, you don't tell Joel, please, God, because other than that, I knew how it would go. So, and
by that time, he was acting goofy enough where I was like, if he get off to whatever. It just to go from like, oh, this is, and again, nothing against the actors. Like, they still did a good job of what they had, you know what I'm saying? But to go from one half of the episode where it's like, oh, this is such a beautiful story of these two brothers, and to see this come alive in live action, to this nigga's acting goofy. Like it was
Yeah.
just it was strange. It was a strange dichotomy. So and because I wanted to make mention of the touching moments, because I was touching when he drew the mask on Sam's face, when Henry drew the
Very
mask on Sam's
touching.
face.
Yeah.
And like you know, because remember when we saw them in the previous episode, what you saw was Sam's face, and he had that band of paint on it. And now you see why, where that comes from, and Super Sam, and he wasn't drawing Christopher Reeves, but I mean, he was drawing himself and his brother as superheroes. So.
Oh, I knew that. I knew he was
I
drawing
know,
them,
but it's
I was
just so
like,
funny.
who was his inspiration? It's Christopher Reeve.
Well, apparently the inspiration was okay. I'm just gonna leave it at comic books. Let's just say comic books. Okay?
Yeah, it was. You're right. I mean,
They had comic books.
Licensing, that's how that went.
Licensing, yeah. I don't.
We don't want the lawyers on us just like they didn't. That's why that was not Superman he was drawing.
I don't think he was drawing Superman. Yeah,
Does Superman have a red mask? Says the Last of Us lawyers. I don't think so. Warner Brothers.
Anything else about this episode you wanted to mention, Ben?
They have the golden arches. We have the golden arch.
Anything not to get sued.
Anything. No, not much else about this episode or my predictions. I don't know, because the Henry and Sam was the last horrible thing that I knew about this show. I mean, about this game. I have no clue what horrible is just coming next. I just know it's to be horrible. And I feel like it can't get much more horrible for me, at least, because sadly, I don't even think they're going to introduce any more black characters. So I don't have to worry about seeing them getting murdered.
Yeesh. Yeah, I think my only closing question to you is just, do you still trust the direction of this show? Like you
I didn't trust it from the jump, fam.
I know, but then you started trusting them. But now,
I kinda did.
Did it throw you off too much? Or you're like, you know what, this could be a one-off. I'm just gonna keep going.
I'll be honest. If I wasn't reviewing this show, I do not know if I'd watch the next episode. Yeah, I might have to wait a few weeks and then hear how it was going before I would go back to it, because that I was distrusted, honestly. I was just like, all right, I don't need to see that type of stuff. I'm just not that glutton for punishment, where I need to see that type of horror in my life. I've seen enough horror in my life, and I particularly don't enjoy horror that involves humanity, where it's like things that could happen, like, suicide and things of that nature. Or people being tortured by other people, things of that. That's why I don't like a lot of zombie stuff when it doesn't address societal issues. I enjoy it when it does address those issues, but when it doesn't, I have a problem with it, because it always goes back to, humans are the worst. And I don't need to see that anymore, because I've already seen that in life. And I like to see things that don't say that show you other sides of humanity, humanity being the best. And that's why I loved, the Bill and Frank. We got to see love in the midst of this apocalypse. But in this episode, I do not feel like Henry and Sam were serviced like that, where, I mean, we did get to see their definitely, beautiful, touching bond and everything, but I don't know. It just,
well,
I mean, I get it, but like you said, we've already seen this end, We've seen a terrible end for people we love. We know that it's going to end like this 90% of the time in this world. I just didn't need to see it here, man. I
concur, Ben. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been our review of episode 5 of The Last of Us. This is the Lack of Us podcast, powered by For All Nerds. Thank you so much for listening. I hope y'all had a blast. We had a blast reviewing this episode, and we'll continue on. There are 9 episodes. There's only 4 episodes left. So this is going to take us into...
That's good.
This is going to take us through March.
I don't know how much more this is I can take.
It's going to take us through, the beginning or middle of March. But thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting For All Nerds. Make sure you are subscribed, followed, whatever the button says for you, to For All Nerds on your favorite podcast platform. That's how you listen to The Lack of Us. That's how you also listen to our other shows, such as Views from 616 or Castle Black. We talk about things like fantasy, gaming, anime, Disney, MCU, Marvel, DCU, right? Is it back to the DCU now?
Yeah, it's back to DCU now.
Right. But we talk about it all because this is what we love to do. This is what we love to discuss. And we do it in a smart and hopefully funny way that you enjoy. Make sure you're also following us on the socials at For All Nerds. You can at me, at Tatiana King, as well as this gentleman here at DJ Ben Hameen. Follow us all over the interwebs. We do the damn thing when it comes to podcasting, but we also do other things. We have many talents. DJ Ben Hameen is an actual DJ, so you need to listen to his music. He has some really, 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 really dope shit that y'all gonna hear soon, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. He got some really, really, really dope shit on deck that he can't even mention yet, but he will very soon. We, as a collective, got some dope shit that we still can't mention yet, but the fact is, we are moving and making it happen for you, okay? So
we need to talk to those people too.
Yeah. We can be found on other places. You can help support us. If you like what you hear, you like what you see, you want us to continue to grow, continue to win, hit us up on the Patreon, patreon.com/forallnerds. That's how you can become a financial part of the Fan Fam and help us do these great things like reviews and interviews and go to cool places and do the Fan Fam justice when we talk about our favorite fandom, right? You can also follow us or subscribe to us on Twitch, twitch.tv/forallnerds. You can watch us on YouTube. Just type in For All Nerds into the search box, or you can look up For All Nerds TV. What else? Oh, forallnerds.com. That's how you get our banging merch. Ben is wearing the Inclusion is Revolution. Soon you will see another. We already have a new site, but the site's going to get overhauled again. So you're going to have an even newer look with more designs, more amazing things. Check it out now so you can see what we have up there already, which is stuff like this, the T'Challa and Friends shirt. The Wong, I think Wong was right, is up there. We got it all, man. We have more coming. So we appreciate everyone who has, it's a lot of you, and thank you, who have already bought merch. We appreciate you. Please send us your pictures. We love seeing y'all rock the merch. Please tag us and let us know. Oh, man, I still can't get over the couple that had the merch. The purple, I think it was Wong was right. They had the purple merch. No, it was T'Challa and Friends.
T'Challa and Friends, yep.
They had the T'Challa and Friends sweatshirts. They were both wearing it in front of their Christmas tree. It was like a Christmas card. It was the cutest thing. So I love seeing that. Ben, love seeing that. Please do that. Let everybody, and also let everybody know about us. We can't get enough of word of mouth. Please tell people about us, right? There's 2 Black people who are hilarious and smart talking about The Last of Us. Tell people that, okay? For All Nerds. Anything else about me?
Nah, I think you said it all. Thank you very much. You did say Twitch, right? Twitch.tv/forallnerds. Yep, you said that. So we'll be back next week. Unfortunately, I'm going to be here, whether I like it or not. We'll be right back next week. And you know what? We do get a little bit more of a break. I will give them that because we got to see this episode so early and everyone else will get to see it
Thanks
early.
to the Super Bowl.
So it will be a little bit longer before we come back next Sunday. And I need that, fam. I don't even want to watch next week's episode till Saturday, whatever is the latest day that I can before we record this episode. This review. That's all.